Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martins here with your outlook for September 19th, 2017. For your Tuesday, we're going to have what is still being called by the National Hurricane Center Hurricane Jose offshore, and is expected to eventually turn to the northeast, and then will start to weaken and become extratropical. The part of that process has begun already, but the National Hurricane Center has not declassified it as yet. One thing we have seen today, though, is the eastern envelope of guidance. That is, all those models that were showing this thing coming up real close to the coastline and then going like this were wrong. We're definitely wrong. So we're now seeing a more easterly track, at least on the eastern side of that cone. So I wanted to wait to do the video until a little bit as late as I could tonight, just because I wanted to have the most updated information. And now it looks like the trends that we've been seeing over the last couple of hours are actually going to affect our areas. So they did drop the tropical storm watches that were along coastal Delaware and Jersey. Still can get a few showers there, a few showers. That's all we're talking about, a few showers with some of the outer bands. I don't think anything gets into Pennsylvania now. It might not get in there at all, except something stray. But it looks like now most, if not all, of these showers stay offshore, and then you're going to have a few showers come across New Jersey and Delaware with some of those outside bands. But that's about it. It looks like the trend has been to continue this further eastward. This is probably overdone. This is what it's showing right here across New Jersey as we head toward the evening. So this might stay out of Pennsylvania altogether. And then this system is going to move up toward Cape Cod. I still think you have an issue up there with some tropical storm force winds might be felt there. And we do have tropical storm warnings up near the Cape because of that. But that would be like the only area that you have to really be concerned about. Our area will just be fine. And then this system will just kind of do a little loop-de-loop out here and then start coming back toward the coast a little bit as we head toward the end of the week. We're going to get to that in a minute. First, I want to show you what the future simulated radar of the NAM does. This is now 11 a.m. And now earlier projections had this already being raining across New Jersey, coming in at about 8, 9 o'clock. This is now 11, and it's just starting to reach the coast at this point. It's starting to press westward. See, this is just a few showers. This is it, folks. 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m. And it's just straight across New Jersey. Maybe parts of southeastern PA, you sneak into that here closer to 5 p.m., but that's it. Just a few light showers. No big deal. No heavy rain. No high winds. And that's it. Just a nuisance. And then by to head to the evening, the system starts to pull away and is out of here. So that's it. Sorry, I purposely zoomed in on the radar here, looking at 11:40 p.m. now when I'm doing the video. This is South Jersey right here, just to see some of these outer bands starting to make its way toward South Jersey. But again, you know, it's going to take a while to get here, and when it does, it's just going to be a few showers, it looks like. So not a big deal. Here is the track of Jose from the National Hurricane Center. Again, it's expected to do one of these numbers here, become a tropical storm, and then post-tropical as it starts to loop back down to the southwest a little bit. But I don't think that retrogrades all the way back to the coast. Those earlier solutions that we're showing that are probably incorrect. Again, tropical storm warnings in the blue near the Cape and also near just south of Providence here and up near Boston. So places like that will still have those tropical storm warnings in effect today, and we'll be dealing with a close brush of Jose. Now, I'd like to go on and on about you know, about our weather here, because there's nothing really interesting going on. We're going to have a ridge building in over the northeastern United States. We're going to have very warm temperatures that are going to make their way into our region. I think is going to be above normal. We're looking at above normal temperatures from tomorrow through at least next Monday, maybe longer than that. Okay, through our 7-day period, temperatures are going to be in the 80s. And in some cases, as we head toward this weekend, we're talking about mid to upper 80s in some places. So it's going to be very warm, very summer-like as we head to the weekend. But again, there's we're not looking at any precipitation in our area. Here's Jose still lurking around out here. This is looking at Saturday now. And here's finally looking at Sunday, still very warm, and nothing really to note of precipitation. So our chance of precipitation with Jose kind of went out the window when this thing decided to go for a little bit further east, and it won't be affecting much of anything as shown here. Again, just some showers, a few showers across New Jersey, but insignificant today, New Jersey and Delaware. Maybe something sneaking into eastern Pennsylvania, extreme eastern Pennsylvania, but that'd be the extent of it. So the next thing we can talk about, there's only three things we can talk about. Jose, which we addressed, the ridge that's building in, the exceptional warmth that's going to be in place through early next week, that's addressed. Third thing is Maria. And this thing just bombed today, absolutely bombed. When it had a rapid, talk about rapid intensification. This thing went from a tropical storm last night to a Category 5 hurricane. Incredible drops in pressure. And then the latest satellite imagery, this is the infrared satellite. It's a Category 5 storm, 160 mile per hour winds here hitting the island of Dominica, and that is right here. I went right over top of the island here, and the Prime Minister of that island was tweeting out that he was stranded and was eventually rescued, but he had massive destruction to his own home and roof blowing off his house and flooding in his house and things like that. So some very scary sights here on this particular island. I'm sure some of these islands and adjacent islands here are getting it pretty good too, but the wind field of the hurricane wind field actually is pretty tight with this one, unlike Irma, which was so wide. That may widen with time if we have an IPAWA replacement cycle, but if it's going to be heading up in this direction, we're going to be heading up towards St. Croix, the Virgin Islands is right about here, and if I extended this a little bit further, it would extend to Puerto Rico as well, and I do expect a direct hit to the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico is a Category 4 or 5 storm. So Puerto Rico has only had 4 recorded hurricane Category 4 or 5 storms that has ever in recorded history hit Puerto Rico. 3 were Category 4 and 1 was a 5. The last time a 5 hit there was 1928. So we'll be watching for that. Hopefully not, because anything coming in from the southeast is the most devastating to Puerto Rico, and that's what it's projected to do. Major hurricane all the way up until it gets to the Turks, but near the Turks and Caicos, and then eventually east of the Bahamas by the time we get to Saturday. Now, what's making this start to curve out to sea? The models are starting to show that moving away from the mainland U.S., and we're going to look down the road a little bit, and I'll show you why that is. Real quick, we have a ridge right here, so we can I'll put a Y right here, because I want to be able to identify these. Here's one ridge. Here's the second ridge. This ridge up here is, I'll mark an X. This is the one that's going to give us the impressive warmth that's going to be going through early next week, of course. This right here is Jose, okay? And this down here is Maria. Okay, now we're looking at Wednesday morning here. You see Jose is still lurking here. That's going to be important. Now watch these 2 ridges here. This is the 2 important pieces. This ridge right here is helping steer Irma to the west-northwest, and eventually will be steering it to the north-northwest. Okay, so we're going to get there. Let me move this back into place here. Okay, so we're going to get back to that. But this is moving this in this direction like this. Okay, and it's going to eventually turn it up to the northwest. Now, the reason it's going to be doing that is Jose being in this position is going to create a weakness in the ridge here. So this weakness right here, there's a little weakness. There's a path here for Maria to follow, and the lower heights here created by Jose being here keeps the higher heights, which are the steering mechanisms, separate. If these 2 were able to link up, and Jose was not here, it would be a bona fide, guaranteed hit into the southeastern U.S. coastline. There'll be no doubt about it. But because Jose is here, it's going to create a weakness, we think, and it's going to allow for an escape path for Maria to follow. So as long as Jose lingers out here, it could be out here, it could be weak. It doesn't even matter if it's weak. This ridge is weakened here, another ridge here. There's a weakness for this then to follow and head up to the northeast, and it provides an escape route. So you're seeing a lot of out-to-sea solutions. That's the reason why it's doing, even a little Fujiwara type thing going on here, but I'm not really concerned about that. But the weakness is there in the ridge that allows this to escape to the northeast, and if that does happen, we will be spared in the mainland of the United States. But this is not a slam dunk forecast. I'm just showing you what the models are seeing as the reason why. There's that weakness in the ridge that we talked about. There's this one here that's steering it to the west-northwest will eventually die off, and this weakness that Jose is creating allows this path to go up to the northeast. So we'll watch this over the next couple of days and see what happens. But right now, that's the forecast. Once it gets past the eastern Bahamas, is for right now probably more so favoring the out-to-sea solution than coming into the U.S. mainland, but it's probably 60-40. 40% is still a considerable amount of chance to hit the United States, so we're going to watch this very carefully over the next several days. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Marters. That is your outlook for September 19th, 2017. Have a great Tuesday.